Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnanachana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhishtam Supurkam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindabhidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwa Gurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Premno Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchanduvaranam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhantanadim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubhadam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurata Vishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami with translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. And this is Chaitanya, this is Madhya-lila chapter 24, explanations of the Atmarama verse, Mahaprabhu speaking to Srila Sanatan Goswami. So I'll start with text number 317. Prabhu kohe kene kora amara stavan bhagavater swarup kene nakora bicharan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Why are you glorifying me personally? You should understand the transcendental position of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why don't you consider this important point? Krishna tuya bhagavat vibhu sarvashray prati shloke prati akare nana artakoi." Srimad Bhagavatam is as great as Krishna, the Supreme Lord and shelter of everything. In each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, and in each and every syllable, there are various meanings. Prashnotare Bhagavate Koryache Nirdar Jahara Shravane Loke Lage Chamatkar. The form of Srimad Bhagavatam is given in questions and answers. Thus the conclusion is established. By hearing these questions and answers, one is highly astonished. Bruhi Yogeshware Krishne Brahmanye Dharma Varmani Swam Kashtam Adunopete Dharmakam Sharanam Gata. Now that Sri Krishna, the absolute truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us by whom religious principles are presently protected. Krishnesva Dharmopagate Dharma Jnanadi Bisaha Kalo Nashta Drisham Esha Puranarko Dunodita. After Lord Krishna departed for his own abode, along with religious principles and transcendental knowledge, this Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, has arisen like the sun in this age of Kali to enlighten those who have no spiritual vision. After Lord Krishna departed for his own abode, along with religious principles and transcendental knowledge, this Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, has arisen like the sun in this age of Kali to enlighten those who have no spiritual vision. Emata kohilun ek shlokarab Vyakyan Batulera Pralapa Kori Kekore Praman. In this way, like a madman, I have explained the meaning of just one verse. I do not know who will take this as evidence. Amahena Jebad Keho Batulahoy Adrishte Bhagavater Arta Janoi. If one becomes a madman like me, he may also understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam by this process. Una Sanatana Kohe Judy Dui Kore Prabhu Agya Dila Vaishnava Smriti Kore Bane. Folding his hands, Sanatan Goswami said, "My Lord, you ordered me to write a directory about the activities of Vaishnavas." Muinicha Jate Kichuna Janon Achar Mohoite Kaiche Hoi Smriti Parachar. I am a most low-born person. I have no knowledge of good behavior. How is it possible for me to write authorized directions about Vaishnava activities? Sutra Kore Disha Jadi Koraha Upadesh Apane Koraha Jadi Hridaye Pravesh. Sanatan Goswami then requested the Lord, please personally tell me how I can write this difficult book about Vaishnava behavior. Please manifest yourself in my heart. The writing of Vaishnava literatures is not a function for ordinary men. Vaishnava literatures are not mental concoctions. They are all authorized literatures meant to guide those who are going to be Vaishnavas. Under these circumstances, an ordinary man cannot give his own opinion. His opinion must always correspond with the conclusion of the Vedas. Only one who is fully qualified in Vaishnava behavior and authorized by superior authority, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unless one is fully qualified in Vaishnava behavior and authorized by superior authority, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot write Vaishnava literatures or purports and commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. Tabetara Disha Sware Me Nichera Ridoy Ishvara Tumi Je Koraha Se Siddha Hoy. If you would please manifest yourself within my heart and personally direct me in writing this book, then although I am low-born, I may hope to be able to write it. You can do this because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead yourself, and whatever you direct is perfection, or is perfect. You can do this because you are the Supreme Lord Himself, and whatever you direct is perfect. Prabhu kohe je korite koriba tumiman Krishna se toma korabe spuran. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, whatever you want to do, you will be able to do correctly by Lord Krishna's favor. He will manifest the real purport. Tatapi a sutrara shuna digdarshan sakaran likid ado guru ashrayan. Tatapi a sutrara shuna digdarshan sakaran likiyado guru ashrayan. Because you asked me for a synopsis, please hear these few indications. In the beginning, describe how one must take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Guru Lakan, Sishya Lakan, Dohara, Parikan, Sebya, Bhagavan, Sarva, Mantra, Picharan. Your book should describe the characteristics of the bona fide guru and the bona fide disciple. Then, before accepting a spiritual master, one can be assured of the spiritual master's position. Similarly, the spiritual master can also be assured of the disciple's position. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, should be described as the worshipable object, and you should describe the Bij mantra for the worship of Krishna, as well as that for Rama or any other expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Your book should describe the characteristics of the bona fide guru and the bona fide disciple. Then, before accepting a spiritual master, one can be assured of the spiritual master's position. Similarly, the spiritual master can also be assured of the disciple's position. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, should be described as the worshipable object, and you should describe the Bij mantra for the worship of Krishna, as well as that for Rama or any other incarnation, any other expansion of the Supreme Lord. Okay. Mantra Adhikari Mantra Siddhi Adi Shodan Dikka Prata Smriti Kritya Shocha Achaman. You should discuss the qualifications necessary for receiving a mantra, the perfection of the mantra, the purification of the mantra, initiation, morning duties, remembrance of the Supreme Lord, cleanliness, and washing the mouth and other parts of the body. So, of course, that includes the proper standard for worship, achman, everything that is necessary for worshiping the deity, worshiping the Lord. Danta, Davan, Snana, Sanjati Bandhan, Guru Seva, Urdhva, Pundra, Chakradi Dharan. You should describe how in the morning one should regularly brush his teeth, take his bath, offer prayers to the Lord, and offer obeisances to the spiritual master. You should also describe how one should render service to the spiritual master and paint one's body in 12 places with Urdhva Pundra, tilak, as well as how one should stamp one's body with the holy names of the Lord and or the syllable, the symptoms. Also says one should stamp one's body or paint one's body with the holy names of the Lord or the symbols of the Lord, such as the disc and club. So let's just say the body is marked with tilak, and all these are part of the worship. Gopi Chandan Maya Dhriti Tulasi Dharan Vastra Pita Griha Samskara Krishna Prabhudan. After this, you should describe how one should decorate one's body with Gopi Chandan, wear neck beads, collect tulsi leaves from the tulsi tree, cleanse one's cloth and the altar, cleanse one's own house or apartment, and go to the temple and ring the bell just to draw the attention of Lord Krishna. Panja Shodasa, Panja Shat, Upachare, Archan, Panja, Kala Puja, Arti, Krishnara, Bhajana Shayan. Also describe deity worship, wherein one should offer food to Krishna at least 5 times daily, and in due time place him on a bed. You should also describe the process for offering arti and the worship of the Lord according to the list of 5, 16, or 50 ingredients. So, many of the purports that we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, they explain 5 points. What is these different articles? You should also describe the process for offering arti and the worship of the Lord according to a list of 5, 16, or 50 ingredients. So I've always felt like when reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, some of the purports go into very much detail, and they describe all these things that are mentioned here by Mahaprabhu, the list of 50 ingredients and all that. And I've always considered that, there are sometimes that people write doctorates and dissertations and all these kind of things, and I've seen many of the commentaries of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, and all of these things. They go into much detail. So if somebody's a research scholar, because Govinda Maharaj at one time he also said that, it was Guru Maharaj who said that those who are munis, and what other terminology would we use? He said they're like, rishis. They're like research scholars. So if someone wishes to become a full research scholar and find out all this information, you will find it in the purports of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, and you have that information available to you. Also, you'll find information like if you're going on pilgrimage, they'll describe all the different places where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, and you can sometimes even in the purports it describes the railway stations and the railway lines that get there. Although probably now 100 years later, not all those stations are still extant. But in any event, according to how much you want to research something, if you really want to go on pilgrimage and visit all these places, then this would be very useful for you. So I consider that if you're actually a research scholar, then you can read everything and go over it and find detail. That information is available to you. So somebody could say, well, you're saying not everybody's a research scholar. And I say, yes, that's the point. That's the point. Not everybody will avail themselves of all the information given. But it's there, and it's invaluable. Srimurti Lakan Ara Shalagrama Lakan Krishna Ketra Chatra Krishna Murti Dhanashan. The characteristics of the deity should be discussed, as well as the characteristics of the Shalagram Shila. You should also discuss visiting the deities in the temple and touring holy places like Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. Nama Mahima, Nama Para, Duri Varjan, Vaishnava Lakan, Seva Parad, Kandan. You should glorify the holy name and explain that one must carefully give up offenses when chanting the holy name. You should also describe the symptoms of a Vaishnava and explain that one must give up or nullify all kinds of seva aparad offenses in deity worship. So always, when somebody receives the holy name, we always give the list of the 10 offenses that one should avoid. And that is translated and presented by Srila Govinda Maharaj himself. And it's very important that when one receives beads, one is able to properly chant the holy name and can avoid the offenses to the holy name. Shankajala Gandha Pushpa Dupadi Lakan Japastuti Parikrama Dandavat Bandhan. The items of worship such as water, conch shell, flowers, incense, and lamp should be described. You should also mention chanting softly which means japa, offering prayers, circumambulating and offering obeisances. All these should be carefully described. Purascharan Bidi Krishna Prasada Bojan Anibedita Tyaga Vaishnava Nindari Marjan. So, basically what Mahaprabhu is describing is what Sanatan Goswami will present in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, guidance for Vaishnavas. Other items you should describe are the method of performing Purascharan, taking Krishna Prasadam, giving up unoffered food, and not blaspheming the Lord's devotees. So all these things we learned previously with Prabhupada, with Govinda Maharaj. For instance, I always remember when I'm sitting with the Vaishnavas and they're taking prasad, there's not very much conversation going on during a meal. People are respecting the prasadam. So. Purascharan Bidi Krishna Prasada Bojan Anibedita Tyaga Vaishnava Nindari Varjan. Other items you should describe are the method of performing Purascharan, taking Krishna Prasad, giving up unoffered food, and not blaspheming the Lord's devotees. So I remember when I went to Srila Prabhupada, I had jaundice, hepatitis. I got that in India. And then I asked Srila Prabhupada, well, I have hepatitis. What kind of food? What should I eat? And he said, and he answered me, only take Krishna Prasad. And I said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, but then what shouldn't I eat? And he said, don't take anything that's not Krishna Prasad. This is guidance. Sadhu Lakana, Sadhu Sangas, Sadhu Sevan, Asat Sangha Tyaga Shri Bhagavat Shravan. You should describe the symptoms of a devotee, how to associate with devotees, how to satisfy a devotee by rendering service, and how to give up the association of non-devotees. You should also explain the value of regularly hearing and the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dina Kritya Paka Kritya Ekadasi Adibhaivaran Masha Kritya Janmastam Yadi Virivicharan. You should describe the ritualistic duties to be performed every day, and you should also describe the fortnightly duties, especially how to observe the fortnightly Ekadasi fast. You should also describe the duties to be observed every month, and you should especially describe the observance of ceremonies like Janmastami, Ramnavami, and Nrsimha Chaturdasi. Ekadasi, Janmastami, Vaman Dwarasi, Sri Ramanavami, Ara Nrsimha Chaturdasi, Ekadasi, Janmastami, Vamana Dwarasi, Ramnavami, and Nrsimha Chaturdasi. All these should be described. Esabe, Vidatyaga, Avidakaran, Akarane, Dosha, Koile, Bhaktira, Lamban. You should recommend the avoidance of mixed Ekadasi and the performance of pure Ekadasi. You should also describe the fault in not observing Ekadasi. One should be very careful as far as these items are concerned. If one is not careful, one will be negligent in executing devotional service. So, when Ekadasi is calculated, sometimes there's mixed Ekadasi, and one should not observe Ekadasi on that day that's mixed Ekadasi, even if it means then one will be observing Mahadvarasi instead of Ekadasi. That, sometimes you'll see on the calendar it says Ekadasi, and it'll say no fasting, and it'll indicate it's mixed Ekadasi. So that day is not used as Ekadasi, but it says you should recommend the avoidance of mixed Ekadasi and the performance of pure Ekadasi. You should also describe the fault in not observing Ekadasi. One should be very careful as far as these items are concerned. If one is not careful, one will be negligent in executing devotional service. And remember one comment about, eating grains on Ekadasi. It says that Papa Purush was the personification of all sinful activities. He lives in grains on Ekadasi. So when you eat those grains, you're getting all kinds of not useful, you're getting all kinds of sinful reactions. I was going to say that sarcastically, but no, should not even say those things in that way. Papa Purush, the personification of sin and the reaction to sin, is in grains on Ekadasi. And Mahaprabhu, he asked of his mother, he asked Sachimata, please do me one favor. What's that? Please always observe Ekadasi. Because in Bengal sometimes they would say widows don't have to observe Ekadasi. But Mahaprabhu showed that's not happening in our line, he said to his mother, who was a widow, please always observe Ekadasi. Sarvatra Pramana Dibe Purana Bachan Sri Murti Vishnu Mandir Karana Lakan. Whatever you say about Vaishnava behavior, the establishment of Vaishnava temples and deities, and everything else should be supported by evidence from the Puranas. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Bhagavad Purana. Samanya Shad Achar Ara Vaishnava Achar Kartavya Sab Smarta Vyavahar. You should give general and specific descriptions of the behavior and activities of a Vaishnava. You should outline things that are to be done and things that are not to be done. All this should be described as regulations and etiquette. So there are many things that should be done and many things that should not be done, that should be avoided. So in general, these are said to come under two categories. Everything that's to be done is so that you always remember Krishna. And everything that's to be not done or to avoid it is so that you will not forget Krishna. So that's the general principle behind what should be done, what shouldn't be done. Esankapi Sutra Kohilon Digdarshan Jabe Tumi Likiba Krishna Korabe Swaran. I have given a synopsis of the Vaishnava regulative principles. I have given this in brief just to give you a little direction. When you write on this subject, Krishna will help you by spiritually awakening you. Eta Kohilu Prabhur Sanatane Prasad Jahara Shravane Chitter Kande Abasad. Thus I have narrated Lord Chaitanya's mercy upon Sanatan Goswami. When one hears these topics, one's heart will be cleansed of all contamination. Nijagrante Karnapur Vishtara Korea Sanatane Prabhura Rasara Raki Jache Likia. The authorized poet Kavi Karnapur has written a book named Chaitanya Chandrodoya Natak. This book tells how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bless Sanatan Goswami with his specific mercy. Godendrasya Sabha Vibhushana Manis Chaktva Ya Hridam Shriyam Rupasyagraja Esha Eva Tarunim Vairagya Lakmindade Antar Bhakti Rasena Purna Hridayo Baye Vadutakriti Saivalai Piti Savaila Pihitam Mahasara Eva Priti Pradastam Vidam. Srila Sanatan Goswami, the elder brother of Srila Rupa Goswami, was a most important minister in the government of Hussain Shah, the ruler of Bengal, and he was considered a most brilliant gem in that assembly. He possessed all the opulences of a royal position, but he gave up everything just to accept the youthful goddess of renunciation. Although he externally appeared to be a mendicant who had renounced everything, he was filled with the pleasure of devotional service within his heart. Thus, he can be compared to a deep lake covered with moss. He was the object of pleasure for all the devotees who knew the science of devotional service. Tam Sanatanam Upagatam Akshnor Drishtamatram Atimatra Dayardaha. Alilinga Pare Gatyata Dorbyam Sanukampam Ata Chambaka Gora. As soon as Sanatan Goswami arrived in front of Lord Chaitanya, the Lord, seeing him, became merciful to him. The Lord, who has the complexion of a golden champak flower, opened his arms and embraced him while expressing great affection. Kalena Vrindavana Kelivarta Lupteti Tam Kyapayitum Visheshya Kripam Ritena Visisecha Devas Tatraiva Rupam Cha Sanatanam Cha. In the course of time, the transcendental news of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan was almost lost. To enunciate explicitly those transcendental pastimes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami with the nectar of his mercy to carry out this work in Vrindavan. Eta kohilun sanatane prabhura prasad jahara shravane chiter kande abasad. I have thus explained the mercy bestowed on Sanatan Goswami by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If one hears this description, all moroseness in the heart will diminish. Krishnara Swarup Ganer Sakala Hoy Jiva Krishnara Swarupa Ganer Sakala Hoy Gyan Vidiraga Marge Sadhana Bhaktira Bidan. By reading these instructions to Sanatan Goswami, one will become fully aware of Lord Krishna's various expansions and the process of devotional service according to the regulative principles and spontaneous love. Thus everything can be fully known. Krishna Prema Bhakti Ras Bhaktira Siddhanta Ihara Shravane Bhakta Janena Sab Anda. By reading these instructions, a pure devotee can understand love of Krishna, the mellows of devotional service, which is Bhakti Ras, and the conclusions of devotional service. So one will understand Krishna Prema, Bhakti Ras, and Bhaktir Siddhanta. Everyone can understand all these things to their ultimate end by studying these instructions. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Dvaita Charan Jara Pranadana Se Paya Edan. The conclusion of these instructions can be known to one whose life and soul is the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Acharya. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas, praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya-lila, chapter 24, describing the Atmarama verse and the Lord's mercy upon Sanatan Goswami. Very nice. Wow. Incredible. Just incredible. It really is. Somehow or other, I had the mic on the wrong setting. Probably people are commenting about that, but anyway. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Garadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhattacharya Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghuna Chai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jahoite Bignana Shabista Puran Chai Gosai Jarmui Tarodan Sabar Padarenu Mora Panchagram Tader Janana Sevi Bhakta Sanivan Janame More Abhilan Chai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilaban Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakam Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamodam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhara Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Niraya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmawacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Paravajaka Ashta Tata Sada Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Paravajaka Ashta Tata Sada Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Swami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsi Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad ki jai. Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Sri Namadip Dham ki jai. Sri Mayapur ki jai. Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Saparshada Srimad Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Kodavip ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sarvashram ki jai. Ganga Devi ki jai. Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki jai. Shri Purushottam Madam ki jai. Baladev Subhadra Jagannath Jo ki jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Nishingadev ki jai. Bhakta Prabhata Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Sripad Bhakti Bandhava Puri Maharaj ki jai. Shri Devashish Prabhu ki jai. Shri Manendra Mohan Prabhu ki jai. Shri Krishna Kanta Didi ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Brahmanande Hari Hari Lo. So we've been very fortunate to have during this time of Govinda Mela. Here is Manindra Mohan and Krishna Kanta been here, and today is Krishna Kanta's birthday. And she is she's making gnocchi today. So, and anyway, and whoever hears that, you can all send some greetings to Krishna Kanta. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai.